Good morning. Welcome to DuPage UU Church. It's a joy to have you with us. As you enter our sanctuary this morning, please rise in body and spirit and join me in our welcome song, Joy in the Morning. We'll find joy. Strength in each other. We'll find strength in each other. Strength in each other. Strength in each other. In each other. We'll find strength. But there's love all around us. There is love all around us. Love all around us. Love all around us. All around us. There is love all around us. There's love all around us. There is love all around us. All around us. There is love.
Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service at DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Bob Smallwood, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition committed to creating a just and flourishing world for all people. Our Universalist theology tells us that every person is worthy of love. Thus, when we say, whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. This is our message of love to you, inviting your whole self into the space to help us co-create a world centered on our values. We invite you to learn more about us and consider joining this community to enact our values of equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. If you would like to explore ways to connect and get involved, please stop by the newcomer welcome after the service in the lower annex or contact Tina Lewis, Director of Membership and Engagement. Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat. And if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting.
Together, we light this chalice to center ourselves in this sacred moment. We call upon our ancestors, those who tended the flame before us. We call upon our children, whose brilliant sparks remind us to seek out courage and challenge. We call upon one another to remind us we are never alone on the journey. We call upon ourselves to hear the call of this flame and to nurture it with love.
Good morning. Welcome to this place of love, this place of our communal flourishing. We gather each week to open our hearts, to expand our minds, and to see the sacred within each other. Come, let us worship together.
Though I may speak with bravest fire. Though I may speak with bravest fire, and have the gift to all inspire, and have not love, my words are vain, as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Though I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, and will not dim my love within, the prophet's truth turns strangely thin. Come, spirits, come, our hearts control. Our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are free.
The mission statement of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church reminds us of who we have agreed to be, who we are. Please join me in reading our mission statement. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world toward fairness, love, and compassion. The vision statement of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church is our dream, who we wish to become. Please join me in reading our vision statement. We strive to boldly enact our values toward a just world as we nurture our growth to become a more inclusive and deeply connected intergenerational community.
Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships that we have with one another, our world, and creation. Each week we offer the opportunity for joys and concerns to be shared aloud from the pulpit. Dan Vihi shares that his children Lily and Lucas completed the Chicago Kids Triathlon yesterday. Yay! Both set new personal records in the event. Congratulations to them, indeed. Very big congrats. Steve Conant shares that on September 14th, he will be starting a new job working for Underwriters Laboratories. We wish you so much joy on this new journey. And I have one concern to share with you all. This week, several Minneapolis churches, including First Unitarian Universalist in Minneapolis, were revealed to have had undercover Department of Homeland Security agents visiting them during worship. This is not surprising to many of us. And I will share the Reverend Jen Crow's statement. She is the UU minister at First Minneapolis. It is one of defiance, but it's particularly apt with our own service today. She said, "There is nothing the U.S. government can do that would divide us. We will stand together, fight together, care together. This is love, and it will defy any hate that is thrown our way." There are many things that weigh on our hearts and minds these days. News and events that make heavy our souls. A gift of this community is that we do not travel alone. We have companions to care and comfort us, those to walk beside us. I invite you today for our meditative prayer to join me in a sung prayer. Stay seated, please, but join me in singing this hymn.
It is time to gather, and I'd like to invite all the kids to come forward. We're going to learn a little bit about the man we just saw singing. How you folks doing on this nice, sunshiny day? Tired? Oh yeah, you ran out of triathlon. Welcome. I want to tell you a story today about a boy named Paul. And before we're finished, Paul is going to become a football star, a lawyer, an actor, a singer known around the world, and someone who stood up for people who were being treated unfairly. But he didn't know any of that when he was a boy. Paul Robeson was born in New Jersey in 1898. His father, William, was a minister, and Paul's father knew something about freedom. William Robeson had been born into slavery, and when he was a teenager, he escaped. And he eventually went to college, became a minister, and raised his children to believe that learning mattered, hard work mattered, and they should use whatever gifts they had to help others. Paul took those lessons seriously. As a boy, he discovered that he was good at a lot of things. Actually, a lot of things. He was a wonderful student. He was a powerful speaker. He could sing, he could act, and he was an incredible athlete. In high school, Paul played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track. When it came time for college, Paul earned a scholarship to Rutgers College in New Jersey. That was a very big deal. But when Paul arrived at Rutgers in 1915, there was something else that made him stand out. Paul was only the third black student ever to attend Rutgers. Imagine walking onto a college campus where almost nobody looks like you, and where some people believe you shouldn't even be there. Then Paul decided to try out for the football team. Some of the white players didn't want a black teammate. During practice, they didn't just tackle Paul, they attacked him. They piled onto him, they hit him, his nose was injured, his shoulder was hurt, and at one point, another student stepped on Paul's hand with football cleats and badly injured his fingers. They were trying to send Paul a message. You don't belong here. Paul had a decision to make. He could leave, or he could stay. Paul stayed. And eventually something happened that the players who tried to chase him away probably hadn't expected. Paul Robeson became one of the best college football players in the entire United States. He was named an All-American twice. But football wasn't the only thing he did. Paul played basketball and baseball and competed in track. He sang, he gave speeches, and while doing all that, he also was one of the best students at Rutgers. When Paul graduated in 1919, he was chosen to give an important speech at his graduation. Think about that. The young man some people hadn't even wanted on the football field was now standing in front of his graduating class, and everyone was listening to him. But Paul had bigger plans. He decided to become a lawyer, and he went to Columbia Law School in New York City. graduated, and found a job at a law firm. Paul must have thought he had finally made it. He had worked hard, he had earned his degree, he had proven himself again and again. But racism wasn't finished with Paul Robeson. At the law office, a white secretary refused to take Paul's dictation because he was black. Imagine spending years studying to become a lawyer and discovering that someone who worked in the same office wouldn't even do her job for you because of the color of your skin. Paul realized something. Being talented wasn't enough to make racism disappear. Being educated wasn't enough. Being a great athlete wasn't enough. Even doing everything people told him he was supposed to do couldn't guarantee that he would be treated fairly. So Paul Robeson left the law firm, and it might have looked as though one door had slammed shut, but another door was already opening. Remember how I told you Paul was good at a lot of things? One of those things was acting. Another was singing. Paul had an extraordinary voice, a deep, powerful voice that people remembered after they heard it. And before long, people weren't just going to listen to Paul Robeson in a courtroom. People all over the world were going to listen to him. And Paul was going to have to decide what to do with that voice. So that is the end of the first part of this story. So I'd like you to stay here with me during the offering, and we'll finish the story in a couple minutes.
Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we have been given by this community and how we live our values in the world. Each Sunday, we offer our financial gifts to both this congregation and to an organization that gives life to these values and makes a difference in the world. This month's special collection is the College of DuPage Fuel Pantry, nominated by DUUC member Stephanie Quirk. The Fuel Pantry provides free food and personal care items to all currently enrolled full or part-time College of DuPage students, staff, and faculty with a self-identified need. At COD, we believe access to food is essential to academic success, so we work to address food insecurity on campus. As we pass our offering plate, know that it is a vessel that connects us to each other through our gratitude and generosity. So give freely your thankfulness and abundance that our values can forever take hold in our world.
Thank you, Vera. So earlier, we left Paul Robeson at a turning point. He had tried to become a lawyer, but racism helped drive him from the profession. Fortunately, Paul had another gift, his voice. Paul began acting professionally, and before long, he was performing in important plays in New York and London. He became famous for playing Othello in Shakespeare's Othello. He appeared in movies and performed in Showboat, where his deep voice became famous for singing the song Old Man River, and that was the video that we saw before. And people loved hearing him sing. Paul sang African American spirituals that had been passed down through generations. He performed them on some of the most important concert stages in the world. Soon, Paul Robeson was famous, really famous. He traveled through Europe, he filled theaters and concert halls, and people recognized him wherever he went. Paul had achieved something remarkable, but something interesting happened as Paul traveled. He listened. Paul met people from Africa who were fighting against colonialism, a system in which powerful countries controlled the other people and their lands. He met Jewish people threatened by the rise of the Nazis. He learned about workers struggling for better pay and safer working conditions. He supported people fighting fascism in Spain. And everywhere Paul went, he began noticing connections. Different people, different countries, different languages, but again and again, people saw people being told, "You don't matter as much as we do." And Paul knew something about that. He remembered Rutgers, he remembered the football field, he remembered the law office, and Paul began to believe that fighting racism in America was connected to fighting injustice everywhere. So he made a choice. Paul decided that his voice wasn't only for singing, it was also for speaking. And he spoke against racism, he spoke for workers, he spoke against colonialism in Africa, he spoke against fascism, he spoke for peace. And sometimes Paul traveled to support people who weren't famous at all. In 1949, for example, thousands of American miners were on strike, and Paul traveled to sing for them and help raise money for their families. Imagine being one of those workers. One of the most famous singers in the world comes to your community, not because you're famous, not because you're rich, but because he believes your struggle matters. Paul Robeson was discovering something important. A voice can entertain people, but a voice can also stand beside people. That choice cost him dearly. During the 1940s and 1950s, the United States became deeply suspicious of people thought to have communist sympathies. Paul had spoken positively about the Soviet Union, even when there were terrible things happening there that he did not publicly condemn. Many Americans fiercely disagreed with his political views. The United States government took away his passport. That meant Paul couldn't travel outside the country. Concert halls stopped inviting him, and people who'd once celebrated him turned away from him. Paul lost enormous amounts of money, but he kept speaking. And when the government officials questioned him about why he talked so much about racism when he himself had become successful. Paul rejected the idea that his own success proved racism was gone. Paul knew that justice wasn't about whether one black person could succeed. It was about whether everyone had a fair chance. And eventually, after years of fighting in court, Paul regained his passport. And today, people still debate some of Paul Robeson's political choices, particularly his support for the Soviet Union. But something much bigger about his life remains clear. Paul Robeson could have decided that his success was enough. He could have said, "I made it, I'm famous, I'm wealthy, people applaud when I walk onto the stage. Why risk all that?" Instead, he looked around at people who were still struggling and said, in effect, "My freedom isn't enough if other people aren't free." Remember the boy that I talked about in the first session? The boy whose teammates tried to chase him off the football field? He could have spent the rest of his life proving how strong he was. Instead, he spent much of his life asking how his strength could help someone else. And maybe that's the question Paul Robeson's life leaves with us. We may not have a voice like Paul Robeson's. We may never stand on a Broadway stage. We may never speak to thousands of people, but every one of us has a voice. We have things we're good at. We have people who will listen to us. And sooner or later, each of us gets to decide, what will I do with my voice? Will I use it only for myself, or when someone is being pushed aside? When someone is told they don't belong, when someone isn't being heard, will I use my voice to help make theirs louder? Paul Robeson decided what he would do with his, and once he found that voice, he refused to let the world silence it. Thank you for joining me up here to hear the story about Paul Robeson. You can go back to your seats now. Thank you.
The summer of 1949, Paul Robeson was scheduled to perform a benefit concert along with Pete Seeger outside of Peekskill, New York. The concert was to benefit the recently formed Civil Rights Congress. Before the concert could even begin, the audience, made up of union members and civil rights activists, was attacked by a right-wing mob who had organized to block the concert from going forward. The concert-goers retreated back to the front of the stage where they turned, they faced their attackers, they linked arms, and they began to sing. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Fortunately, nobody was killed, even though state troopers took hours to arrive. Union members, civil rights activists stood in solidarity to keep each other safe. The song "We Shall Not Be Moved" has been sung for over a century on multiple continents in multiple languages by those who, like Robeson, understood that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The song was first sung as "I Shall Not Be Moved," as a hymn of spiritual resilience, but was adapted again and again. The Southern Tenants Farmers Association, the Southern Tenants Farmers Union sang, "Black and white together, we shall not be moved." Woody Guthrie actually published a version of the song once that included the verse, "We're not afraid of tear gas, we shall not be moved." Robeson himself was a vocal supporter of both the anti-fascists fighting against Franco in Spain and the National Farm Workers Association, who both sang, "No, no, no nos moverán, no, no, no nos moverán." "We Shall Not Be Moved" continues to be sung today, and new verses continue to be written that speak to the moment that we currently face. So, I invite you to rise and join me in singing "We Shall Not Be Moved." Fighting for our children. We're fighting for our children. We shall not be moved. Fighting for our children. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. And we shall not. The whole world is watching us. The whole world is watching. We shall not be moved. Whole world is watching. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Paul Robeson by Gwendolyn Brooks. That time we all heard it, cool and clear, cutting across the hot grit of the day. The major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge, and other symptoms of an old despond. Warning, music words devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond.
There are a multitude of lessons in Paul Robeson's life for us to learn from, including the reality, as I preached about last year through Howard Thurman's writing, that authoritarianism has always been in this US of A. There have always been versions of secret police, ICE agents, McCarthy FBI agents, lynching mobs. Yet what I'm holding from Robeson's story is not these good lessons, but something else entirely. It's all connected. We know this intellectually. We know that the sands of the Sahara Desert are necessary for the Brazilian rainforest. We know that warmongering nationalism in Israel is fed by the capitalism of the US and Western political powers. We know that the silence for missing Indigenous women is linked to the silence of ICE agent killings and the stripping of trans rights. Robeson made this connection outside a playhouse in London. He was just beginning his acting career after years of racial discrimination in sports and his law career. As he exited the playhouse, he encountered Welsh miners who were protesting their treatment at the hands of the capitalistic wealthy mine owners. He saw their disenfranchisement. He would spend all his life fighting against imperialism, power, and corruption. Robeson's life was a gradual radicalization as he deepened his understanding of our connectedness and fought for everyone's justice. Gwendolyn Brooks put words to this when she writes, "The adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge, and other symptoms of an old despond." What she was writing is that Robeson permanently modified his renditions of Old Man River, the song we heard, initially by singing the word darkies instead of the N-word, later by changing some of the stereotypical dialect in the lyrics to standard English and replacing that fatalistic last verse. I gets weary, I sick of trying, I'm tired of living, and scared of dying. He replaced it with this uplifting verse of his own. I keep laughing instead of crying. I must keep fighting until I'm dying. It transformed the song from a tragic resignation with a hint of protest implied into a battle hymn of unwavering defiance. Robeson's life was the embodiment of Emma Lazarus's words that no one is free until all of us are free. The lesson of Robeson's life for me in this moment is a reminder that the lure of greed and power rooted in an individualism that says, I deserve what I have at the expense of others, is wrong. It denies the most basic fact of our universe and of ourselves. We are connected. I cannot be me without you. You cannot be you without me. And in fact, even when you choose not to acknowledge me, it's still my business to be about you. Even when the world chooses to pass laws that hurt me, it's still my business to care about us. We live in a time when globalism is being attacked in favor of nationalism. It's rooted in capitalism, the hoarding of wealth, and a powerful scarcity mentality that says there's not enough to go around. That's a lie, by the way, because billionaires exist. There are, of course, good arguments for opposing the homogeneity of global capitalism, including the erasure of culture. But globalism has given us the gift of diversity and connection. And this is what Robeson's life shows us. He traveled and connected with others. His fight for justice became an interconnected framework across the globe. When we work to make the world a better place here, it matters for all the other places in the world in which the fight is also happening. It is our duty to be in each other's business, to ensure the harvest, the flourishing of all people, because we are each other's magnitude and bond. We are connected. The trouble for most of us, at least for me, is in understanding this connection from a day-to-day perspective and not as an intellectual exercise. I know intellectually that I'm connected to the Ukrainian who is now unhoused due to Russian bombs, to the Palestinian who lost her children in genocide, and to the Iranian enemy. But I don't have a relationship with any of these people. It's a logical, intellectual understanding that feels foreign because I'm also not an expert in international relations, nor can I participate in peace talks between nation states. How do we move this concept into the personal? How do we erase the distance and the otherness? In her book, Emergent Strategy, Adrienne Maree Brown writes, "It was and is devastatingly clear to me that until we have some sense of how to live solutions locally, we won't be successful at implementing a just government system regionally, nationally, or globally." I agree with Brown. And in fact, I've often proposed during our last few years together that the small impacts the big. Our church's mission statement says this: transform ourselves to transform the world. Brown might add to this conversation, this doesn't mean get lost in the self, but rather see our own lives and work and relationship as a front line, a first place that we can practice justice, liberation, and alignment with each other and the planet. The work of justice is not simply making laws and systems that are more just. Heart change is necessary. I firmly believe that one of the reasons we are in the social political landscape is because we did some serious large-scale systemic change independently of the personal transformation that is necessary to see us as interconnected. We didn't talk to each other. Brown might agree when she writes, "We would understand that the strength of our movement is in the strength of our relationships, which could only be measured by their depth. Scaling up would mean going deeper, being more vulnerable and more empathetic." There's a reason that for the last 4 years, your staff has focused on relationships and connections. There's a reason that your staff has worked to offer opportunities for us all to deepen our understanding of justice in ways that change actions on personal as well as systemic levels. We transform ourselves through our connectedness, through the depths of our relationships with each other. And when I say each other, I mean all of us, and all the beautiful kaleidoscope of our identities, including the many, many generations we have present here. The depths of our relationships are what will hold us when the systemic falls apart, when the hate becomes powerful. Our personal change ripples into the world. Gwendolyn Brooks' words are what we've been working on for the last 4 years. Her words are who we are meant to be to each other. Her words are our future. Her words are our salvation. We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond.
Please join me once more in song. Please rise in body and spirit. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? But though the tempest round me roars, I know the truth it liveth. Though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storms can shake my inmost calm, while to the rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
In this season of chaos and possibility, may we remember our connection. May we be about the care, the business, and the joy of each other, so that we may keep singing.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish the light of this chalice but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.